There was a lot of stuff that happened in that election that a lot of people, myself personally, I was not happy about. I am Dr. Bright Enabulele, the Accord Party candidate for the Edo election that just passed 2024. The provisions of our elections are there to make sure that the voice of the people are protected. Electoral process are a process that determines if there are going to be corruption in the land. If the process are not streamlined and they are not correctly, that means we go there and elect someone that is not supposed to be there. I don't have any problem with the winner of the election. I have problems with the way the election was conducted. When something has to do with human interference, we're in 24th century. There should be a trust process. I had a chance to vote in this election. Yes, it was peaceful. At my ward, 5 Ipobauha, Unit 1. There's difference between peace and credibility. The election was peaceful, doesn't mean it was credible. There was a lot of things that could go wrong. There was a lot of voter suppressions. There was a lot of intimidation. There was a lot of vote buying. And we are conducting an election to find out someone that can lead the state, the #1 security officer. That process should be protected without any human interference. And because what happened, when you elect the wrong person, you invite corruption. And when you see all this NSAS, bad governance, it starts from how we elect our leaders. And that Saturday just showed me that we have not grown, that we still have a lot to do. And also the media. The media also play a role in this election. They are the 4 pillars of democracy, whether it's from the judiciary, executive branch, or the legislative. The media was running that election like a 3-man race. There were 17 candidates. You don't give priority to nobody because you don't understand the voice of the people. You should make it a neutral ground. Every time we turn on the TV, we hear 3-horse race. You can't determine the horse race till the election is over. That means you are giving the other party a privilege. And that allows manipulation. And the people were not happy. When you look at the results, well, system was in place to make sure that this elections does not require human interference. There was Beaver. I had a chance to be on the line. I was profiled. There was a proper identity. And then there was a photograph taken. Then I had a chance to go into the booth, pick up the slip, thumbprint, and drop it in the box. What happened after that box? That's the question. And that's what Inec has to answer to. Because in my local government, where I voted, there was 0 vote, even though I voted. And then we are complaining that the country is not moving forward. I'm not talking about some areas in the rural areas that are dealing with rural poverties, that doesn't even have the voice to come out. The medias were only covering places that were more like urban. They didn't care about things that were happening in the rural areas. All they were focusing on was Labour Party, where PDP were voting, where APC was voting. And this is election, this is a state election, 18 local governments. And those local governments, they are all important. I see a lot of disparity in this election. And I felt that INEC should be held responsible because it's not the life that we live today. It's the life that we leave behind. How history will either remember us or history will either judge us. I'm not sitting here today because of a power struggle, because I contested. I'm sitting here today that if I fail, let me fail correctly. And if I win, let me win correctly, so I can understand the needs of my people. Because at the end of the day, when the people are saying that their voice are not heard, their votes are not recorded properly, look at the turnout of the election. It was down. And it's going down because there's no trust process. We should have a trust process. And I'm telling the federal government to allow an electoral process that doesn't require human interference, a blockchain technology. Because at the end of the day, we are looking for somebody that can lead the state. Someone will say, well, it was a dual election. That was not a dual election. That was a Nigeria election. Because at the end of the day, it's the Federal Republic of Nigeria. To myself, I was disappointed, and I'm still disappointed. And I believe that there's a constitution and provision in place to challenge what Inec has done. Because if we don't speak out and we are quiet, that means we are suppressing the voice of the people. They might not have the privilege to hold the mic like I do. I came to this race for one reason, to make sure that we do the right thing. And the people are complaining, saying, what's the reason I'm voting if my vote don't matter? It's not all about big party or small party. Democracy is when the powers are vested on the people to elect a leader they believe that can lead them. But that was not the case here. The case was different. People say, well, it was a Nigerian thing. The democracy that we practice today is not from China. It's not from Asia. It's a Western democracy. We watch TV every day. I could not imagine in 21st century that what is showing on the beaver is not what is transmitted on IREX. Two different things. So I'm calling on an Inec to explain what was the purpose of the beaver if they are not used on this election. And that's very, very important to me. Because at the end of the day, it's not about winning, and it's not about losing. It's about doing the right thing. That when people fail, allow them to fail correctly. And when they win, allow them to win correctly. Because the September 21st, 2024 election was like election that took place 40 years ago. It did not represent modern technology. It did not represent present-day Nigeria with all the complaint. There was so much money spent in this election. And I also want to commend the 17 candidates that ran on this election. They gave all their best. But what is the best if your voice or your vote doesn't count? And that's what we are fighting for today. That if it happens today and nobody says anything, it's going to happen again. And they will complain that our leaders are bad. It's not just the leader. It's the way we select our leader. The process is inconsistent. The process is not legitimate. And the process is compromised. And we, Inec, I don't blame any party because Inec should be responsible for this. And we all the citizens of Edo require an answer. Why was the beaver not used in this election? Thank you.